Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. If you want something wonderful in your life, you have to make room for it. There are times that we hang on to things so tightly and we say, yes, but this is reality. Look at this is happening. I'm not making it up. It's real. It's true. What if you just let go and made room for what you want? Welcome to my morning mindfulness practice. This is a time set aside for you to get in harmony with what you want, what you would prefer, what you would love to bring into your reality. What does that look like? What would that feel like? Why is it important? We spend so much of our time running on autopilot, automatically going, doing and being. What if we just decided to be still, be calm, set up the day with intention? Today is going to be an easy flowing day. Expect that traffic is going to flow easily. Expect that you're going to have an effortless day. We're so used to putting in hard work and efforting that we forget we can allow universal energy to sweep in and help us out. Go with the flow. Allow things to be easy. Maybe you grew up thinking that if you're not working hard, you're lazy. If you're not putting in effort, that you're not worth anything. Well, I'm here to tell you that the universe, God, infinite intelligence, can do the heavy lifting for you if you just have faith and trust. Tap in to the energy that creates worlds. Allow yourself to sit back and get quiet and feel what it's like to be still, to be at ease, to have wonderful ideas that come true when you're in a state of well-being and go after what you truly desire. Going after something that you want, usually we hold ourselves back by limiting beliefs that have been programmed into us by other people. So what if you challenged the status quo? What if you challenged some of the beliefs that you are holding on to? I have to do this. It has to be this way. What if that's wrong? What if it could be easy and you just didn't know because someone told you you had to work hard? It had to be effort. Ask yourself what you're risking if you keep doing things your way, the hard way, the old way, the automatic way of doing things. What if you allowed yourself to look for an easier path, an easier way? What would you decide to bring into your life? What would you decide to let go of to make your life easier? You can sacrifice something of a lower nature in order to receive something that you truly desire, something better, something of a higher nature. Every day we live with risk. In this little book, U Squared, that I've been reading by Price Pritchett, he says, you've got to understand that you can never escape risk. It's not something you can decide to live with or without. Something is always at stake. Only you can decide which risks to take, whether you choose to go for a quantum leap or to follow your usual routines. You are putting something on the line. So choose carefully. Don't kid yourself with the idea that playing it safe by living with the status quo gives you the best odds. He suggests that may be the surest way of losing. Quantum leaps do mean that to some degree you must move beyond the zone of familiarity, move beyond security, move beyond comfort. But you can make the jump to U Squared without being reckless, without being impulsive. Being risky doesn't mean bad behavior. And quantum leap is not gambling. It's not a crapshoot. You simply move on an opportunity that you've been ignoring. What have you been missing by frantically doing the same things over and over and over? You can abandon your excuses. You can reframe a problem and take a completely different chance. Price Pritchett says a quantum leap is risking in a way that unmasks the truth, revealing how the only thing of significance that has been standing in the way is you. Risk believing in yourself. Risk acting on the assumption that you can succeed in making a quantum leap. Otherwise, the risk is that you will settle for only a fraction of what life has to give you. This isn't a case of taking a big chance. It's a matter of giving yourself a big chance, allowing room in your life for something better to come along. The major obstacle to overcoming the odds is never challenging them. Unless you test the limits regarding what you can achieve, you can't really know what your chances really are. And the odds change in your favor when you begin to challenge them. But if you try to minimize your vulnerability by avoiding a new set of risks, you'll kill your chances for that quantum leap. A new set of risks requires a new mindset. You've dreamed many dreams that were yours for the taking. There's been times where you've decided that you really want something, you felt it, you've desired something so deeply, and then you talked yourself out of it. Decided, oh no, that's too big, that's too much, I'm not worthy of that. Well, almost all of your dreams were within your reach. Even now, most of what you dream of can be yours. The simple secret is in seeking, pursuit. Dreams begin to crystallize into reality when they are pursued. Rather than just having a dream and letting it fade, having a fantasy and saying, well, someday, maybe if this and that and the other thing happens, maybe that could be true for me. The world behaves differently when you actually take action to go after what you want. What you wish could be starts becoming. The dream moves in your direction and becomes and comes to you as you reach for it, as you stretch, as you take action. Consider this: the dreams that you have realized in life are those which you actively sought. That which you have achieved is what you decided to go for in one way or another. You can think positively all day long, all year, but positive action is what counts. Wishing, longing, wanting, desiring, these are not the same as pursuing your dream. These are mental states, and they play an important role in the process of becoming the bigger, better, improved version of you, you squared. But wishing, longing, wanting, and desiring are essentially passive. Price Pritchett talks about trusting in the power of pursuit. Pursuit is active. Now, we're not talking about efforting and hard work, but reaching for your dream is behaving, moving in the direction of your dream. It shortens the distance between you and your desired objective. Most people confuse wishing and wanting with pursuing. So there's a difference between wishing and wanting and going after a dream, but there's also a difference between being busy and going hard and efforting and doing things the hard way. Your desire for your dream might be a deep, desperate desire, but when that desire fails to produce, oftentimes we give up, and because it doesn't come when we think it should, we conclude that, oh, maybe that dream is not meant for me after all. Oh, well, it was just an idea. Actually, the only proof that you have is that longing, wishing, hoping is not enough. It merely proves that desire alone does not deliver your dream goal. Reaching for what you want alters the odds immediately. Pursuing your dream drastically improves the opportunities and allows you to get what you truly desire. What you want becomes part of a dynamic exchange with the world and you in partnership. And when you act and extend yourself toward the dream, you see opportunities that were never there before. You take chances that the old you would never have tried because in the past, maybe you worried about failing or being criticized. A quantum leap requires you to take the offensive and not a defensive position, not sitting back and waiting, not fighting against, not continuing to do things the way you've always done them, but getting into the feeling as if your goal is already attained. What you dream of, what you wish for, what you truly desire, getting into that energetic vibration of what it feels like, what it looks like, getting clear on what you want, and then asking yourself, am I ready for this? Am I acting as if I already have it? Am I acting with faith? Price Pritchett says, U squared is firmly based on the premise of pursuit. Quantum leaps require you to take the offensive. You can't achieve exponential gains in your success from a defensive posture. You can't remain in a passive state and make a quantum leap. You need to open your heart, open your mind, think and act like the person who has already achieved the goal. You must move on the dream. This means you must leave the cover, the safety that goes with merely wishing for something. You must place your trust in action. Ask, and it shall be given. Knock, and the door will be opened. Ask, seek, knock, and the dream shall be yours. That means not holding contradictory ideas, concentrating your thoughts and feelings on what it feels like to already be in the position of having your goal. Delight in the unfolding of your dream. Embody the feeling, getting into the spirit of the wish fulfilled. And that takes not only deciding what you want, but getting into the feeling as if it's already here. What would it be like to be peaceful? Are you in a state of being calm? Are you in a state of peace? That's opposite of being in a state of anxiety and fear. If you're in a state of worry and doubt, that's the opposite end of the spectrum from being calm and confident, knowing that everything you need to fulfill your dream is available to you. Take a deep breath in and let go of any worries about how it could happen. You can stay in the safety zone of comfort, but that's not going to get you to your dream goal. It takes getting uncomfortable, doing the uncomfortable, taking action that will lead you to the next step. Now, if you decide you really want something special, you have a deep desire, think about what that truly looks like. Get clear on the goal, and then be prepared for things to go a little bit crazy, because quantum leaps, getting you from the passive state of wishing and hoping to actually being in the state of receiving what you really want, you're going to have to go through a process. Quantum leaps jerk you out of your comfort zone. Price Pritchett says, prepare yourself for a pretty wild ride. You're going to cover some unfamiliar terrain. You're going to encounter obstacles you've never faced before. It can feel like the safety chain linking you with your familiar behavior patterns that worked in the past, it's being stretched to the limit. At times, you may wonder if the situation is about to spin out of control. The normal reaction is to want to hold on tightly, but you're going to have to learn to let go. U squared is achieved through release. So turn it loose if you want to make that jump. Don't be surprised if you grow uneasy. That's a predictable part of the process. When you take the quantum leap, you ride the situation, but you don't really control it at all. In fact, the only way to control is by knowing where you're going, continuing the pursuit, and learning from your mistakes. When you make a mistake, when you fail, that's a crucial part of the process. Don't give up. Failure belongs here. It's a sign of progress. The stress will seduce you toward retreating to the safety of your comfort zone, of the status quo, of the way things have always been, the trap of the familiar. Remember that failure does not mean you're defeated. Actually, the struggle gives you strength. It's like tempering steel or the soreness involved in developing muscles. The difficulties are just evidence that you're learning and progressing. So rather than seeking the comfort zone, look for failure. Don't interpret problems or breakdowns as proof that you should quit, but take them instead as evidence of your growth and improvement. A quantum leap is an act of faith. It's exhilarating and possibly scary at the same time. You have to give up a large degree of security and safety, plow through greater amounts of ambiguity and confusion and uncertainty. You're going to be wrestling with a totally new set of problems. Invite failure and possibly contend with criticism from other people who have been part of your support group in the past. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. If you are experiencing no anxiety or discomfort, the risk you're taking probably is not worthy of you. The only risks that are not a little scary are the ones that you've already outgrown. A high comfort level provides solid evidence that you're playing it safe. You're not growing, you're not really testing your limits at all, and you are not in the process of a quantum leap. You might be making gradual progress, that's possible, but you're not going through you're not going for a breakthrough. When you decide that there's something you really, really, really want, it's going to pull you out of your comfort zone. It's going to shake up your current reality. You're going to hang on for a wild ride. If you really desire going after something big, something beautiful, you know what you truly desire, you've placed that goal in your heart. You have to grow into that person. You have to be stretched. You have to take risks. You squared carries you beyond your commonplace everyday habits. It calls for a little more nerve. So you can go into this expecting a touch of anxiety. Uneasiness is a predictable psychological reaction when a quantum leap is underway. It's been said that if you do the thing you fear, death of fear is certain. You might remember that stands for false evidence appearing real. Challenge Challenge your limits. Courage is not the absence of fear and anxiety. It's proceeding in spite of those feelings. So press on. You have so many gifts that you've never opened. You have gifts of talent, ability, and reach that are yours for the taking. The people that we look at and say they're different, they're gifted, they're only different from everyone else in one special way. They've accepted their gifts. They let it happen. The high achievers, the persons you admire, are those individuals who opened their gifts. These winners have more gifts because they claimed them. They took them out of the wrapping and they used them. Now it's time for you to do something with your gifts. Claim them and you create them. Reach for them and they materialize. Use them and they grow to serve you still better. It's going to take courage and faith and a deep desire to overcome the barriers, to find your wings. When you make a quantum leap, you find out many new things about yourself. It's a fascinating experience in self-discovery, a metamorphosis, a transformation occurs. Think of a striped caterpillar humbly crawling along the stem of a milkweed plant, changing into a strikingly beautiful monarch butterfly that soars high in the air and bravely journeys thousands of miles in its yearly pilgrimage. To become a monarch, to free those shining auburn wings, to fly high and free, the creature must break out of the cocoon of safety and open its gifts. You are a unique, beautiful, spiritual being. You are wearing a meat suit. You're encased in a human body. You have more talent, skills, and abilities than you ever thought possible. Start using them. Start breaking out into the best version of you. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, says, or does. You focus on what you want and go after it with everything you've got. Courage, faith, and feeling as if it's already yours. If it was already yours, you wouldn't care what anyone else said or thought or did. Go after your dream. Pursue that dream in your heart, because what you see in your mind is a coming attraction for your life. Get into the vibrational energy of what that feels like. Get into the spirit of the wish fulfilled. Spend some time thinking about it, writing about it, feeling as if you're already there. And the ideas that come to you are the ones meant for you to pursue your dream. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Create a wonderful day. Do something that your future self will be proud of. And I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.